amazing games that they make, because I think everyone values. Everyone would at least say that they value the sustainability of the effort. Nobody wants to see their best, their like talented teammates, burn out or anything like that. Like everybody is doing their best out there. So I hope that people can have empathy for the fact that it is just very hard for any studio of any size to remain competitive in this industry. And nobody, I don't think, in general anyway, studios don't. Just about every studio is going to set out with good intentions. It's just like reality happens and things get hard. So I'm glad that things have worked out well for us and that we've been able to stick together and learn from our various trials and tribulations. But it's by no means the case that we're now we get to like kick back. Oh, we've solved the problem of sustainability in game development. Like the point is that it is an active, difficult, ongoing process to figure out the best way to do that. It's never gotten. That's one of those things that I don't think has ever gotten easier, and I don't expect it ever will. So we'll keep doing our best, and I'm really glad that we have the support of so many players out there. But yeah, anyway, I think that's. I wanted to say a few words there about that like studio cultures are all different, and they're not like necessarily transferable in that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and I'm glad you defined that too, because I think sometimes people will naturally want to be like someone else. Like I see it all the time with devs looking into other devs that they respect and look up to. And well, I think emulation is great. But you can't always be like that, because you still, like we mentioned before, you have to be true to yourself. Because if you're acting like someone else, it's not being you.
And even if you are, we take inspiration from plenty of other studios, past and present. But it's also important to be aware that you're emulating an ideal. It's just like when you meet someone who's like charismatic and well dressed and well put together and whatever, and like, oh, I wish I could be more like this person. It's like you don't necessarily know what that person is like just from appearances, and like they have their own struggles. They just may be better at covering them up and so on. So like exactly. we did the like part of why we wanted to do we have the no clip documentary about the making of Hades. It's like, if we're going to make this early access game, let's show I hope it is like honest about that process, but it's like, let's show the process warts and all, because game development is just often, it's not very glamorous the vast majority of the time. It's just kind of like you're slogging through this stuff and just trying to make something work at all, and then when it works out, it's a miracle. So so like you said, it's important for studios to find their own identity and not try to emulate other studios out there too much, because those studios already exist and have their own identity already. So but there's so much room, despite all the games coming out, there's so much room for more new voices and points of view in game development. I think that's like part of what I was trying to say. Like I don't think that I have to imagine that we don't. It would be sad if like we at Supergiant had discovered the perfect solution, because it doesn't feel it rarely feels perfect in practice. There has to be. So we ourselves think that there must often be a better way and we're just always just trying to find it as like an active practice. It doesn't mean that we will, but yeah. So that's the part that I would advocate for, rather than trying to do things exactly the way people think that we do them or something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for adding that as well. I appreciate the dimension that adds to what I was mentioning before. And I think that kind of consistent striving to improve and pave your own way is really part of what I was getting at with kind of the human aspect of it, and maintaining that perspective. I think you make an excellent point about kind of the nature of scaling and the way that can impact things. But I definitely would agree that the most important thing, is that everyone who wants to go into this field, I think, has something that they believe they can contribute that maybe either isn't necessarily there, or maybe they're not really kind of hearing their voice in that way. So 100% would echo that, kind of maintaining your own identity as you're going on.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, before we wrap this up, Greg, please share with us, if there's any information you'd like to share about Supergiant, where people can get your games, if there's a way that you can reach out, how to find your Discord, anything you'd like to share, please, let us know on how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, we're just Supergiant Games in various places, Discord, and actually we're just Supergiant on Discord, but we're Supergiant Games everywhere else on Twitter, stuff like that. And I'm my personal Twitter is just my last name, Kasavan. So yeah, you can find me there if you have any follow-up questions or thoughts about any of our stuff. Our games are on various consoles and PC. Hope you enjoy them if you get a chance to check them out.
Yeah, and we definitely highly recommend that too. Again, thank you very much, Greg. Really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me on here.
Hey, everyone, and thank you for listening to another episode of Indie Game Movement. I'm Andrew Pappas, your host, and the show's producer is Mustafa Price. A special thanks to Taisuke Kimura for creating the show's theme and Donnie Wilson for the logo design. If you enjoy and value the content, you can support us by visiting our Patreon, which is patreon.com/IGM podcast, and select a tier that meets your needs. Show notes for this episode can be found by visiting rengenmarketing.com/the number of this episode. Rengen Marketing is a consulting marketing company that helps indie devs with their marketing efforts. So if you're looking for helpful marketing content or marketing plan template for your current game, then please visit rengenmarketing.com. And as always, thanks for being such great listeners, and we'll see you next time on Indie Game Movement.